Yo, chica la Buckalos. Yo, part 19. Cat buck, must have been a bucko. Cat Buckalo, you must have been a Buckalo. You capping for a buck, like capping Buckalos, capping about a Buckalo. No, I capped about a buck, you know a buckle cap. Or every day I cap it with a capalo, capping Buckalo. While I cap about a buck. While I'm with the buckle, I told him Buckalo, cap a buck. And he took my buckle, I capped on his Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo, you must have been a Buckalo. Capping Buckalos, you capping like a Buckalo. Cat buck, buckle, cat buck, buckle, capping about a Buckalo. You capping for some Buckalos, you must have been a Buckalo. Why you capping for a Buckalo? Cat buck, no it's a Bucko. Must have been a Capalo from a Buckalo. Capping about a Buckalo. Cat buck, must have been a Bucko. Buckalo. Buckalo. Part 20 bug. Yippee! Buckalo bug. Nah, bug. Must have been a Buckalo. Capping about a buck. Yippee bug. Got a buck. A low capping by Buckalo. Must have been a Bucko. Yeah, told me Buckalo, I gave him all my gas. He told me don't cap, or I'll put it in your bag. Like, yippee bug, are you capping a bug? Must have been a Bucko from Buckalo, yeah, black bug. Yippee bug, they cap a bug from Buckalo, yeah, black cat. Don't a Bucko cat, cause he capping for my bug. Hello, you capping for a bug. Must have been a Bucko, bro. You capping from a Buckalo, you cap. Yippee bug, must been Buckalo, cat, yo cat, yeah, he yapping bout a Capalo, capping bout a Buckalo. I told him, yippee bug, cat, must have been a Bucko from Buckalo. He told me Buckalo, don't Buckalo from Capalo. Cause you know he's a Buckalo, like Buckalo, cat buck, like cat, Buckalo, like must have been a buck, like must have been a cat, must have been a Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo, just a Buckalo, just Buckano, like Buckalio, just Buckalio, just Buckalio, like you must have been a cat from Buckalo. From Capalo, must have been a Buckalo from the bug. Must have been a cat from Buckalo, then Buckalo, cause you capping for a Buckalo named Bug. Must have been Buckalo, you capping for some bug. Must have been a Bucko, capping for my Buckalo, like a cap from a Buckalo named Buckalo. Must have been a Capalo, must have been a bug like Bug. Must have been a cat, cause you capping Buckos from this cap. Must have been a Bucko, from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo, you cap. Told that Buckalo, don't cat. Told that Buckalo, don't cat. Cause you told him Buckalo. Then he went up to me. You know what he said? He said, Bucko, if you cap one more time, I'ma cap your butt from a Bucko named Buckalo. You cap about a Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo. You know what I said to him? I told him, yippee bug. Buckalo bug, must have been a Bucko from a Buckalo named Buckalo. Must have been a Capalo from a Buckalo, must be Buckalo from a Buckalo cat. Cappin by the Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo from a Buckalo, Cappalo from a Buckalo named Buckalo, must have been a Cappalo from Buck, must have been a Buck, must have been a Buckalo named Buckalo like a Buck. He told me Buckalo, so I told him don't buck no bug, don't cap bug, don't eat bugs from a Buckalo named Buckalo, buck from a Buckalo. You know he said Buckalo, don't cap it like a bug. I told him no bet, I told him yo cap, I told him yo Bucko from a Bucko named Cap. Told him yo cap, I told him no Buckalo like Buckalo cap. Told him my bug, I told him my bug, I told him yo Bucko from a Bucko named Cap like Buckalo like bug, like must have been a Capalo from a Buckalo like bug, must have been a cap, must have been a Bucko, it must have been a Buckalo named Buckalo, Capalo from a Buckalo named Buckalos, just Buckonio, just Buckonio, just Buckalo from a Buckalo named Buckonio, Buckalo. Must have been a bug, must have been a cap, must have been a Bucko, ain't no Bucko, you must have been a Capalo. I told him yo don't Buckalo, cause you capping from Buckalo, you capping by the Buckalo, and I told him Buckalio, just Buckalo, just Buckonio, don't Buckalo from Buckalo, cap, Buckalo, cap, told him yo don't cap, cause you know you Buckalo, cap, Buck, must have been a Buckalo, Cappin, Buck. Yo, part 21. You know it's gonna be lit, it's gonna be crazy, cause like Buckonio, man, like Bucalo, Bucalo must be 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 Bucalo, 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 Cappin, Bucalo must be Bucalo, cap on a book. I put him in a book like how many bucks fit in a book. I told that Bucalo to cap. He told me don't cap out a Bucalo. I told him cap, that's not how many Buckalos fit in a buck. I asked him again how many Buckalos fit in a buck. He told me Bucalo, Bucalo, buck. Like he told me a Bucalo, he told me a Capalo, he told me 13, but the answer was 15. Like how many bucks? Capital buck, capital cap, capital buck, capital butt. He told me 13 is so wrong, it's so cap, it's so Buckalo. Told him cap, it's so cap, Buckalo. So that Bucko cap, it's not 13, it's not 14, it's not 15, it's actually 16. Cap, Buckalo, ain't no one knows the answer for Buckalo like cap, how many Buckalos, how many caps, how many Buckalos fit in a buck? If you cap a lot of bucks, if you cap from a buck, I asked him again, how many Buckalos fit in a buck? He said 16, but that's not right. So I told him, give me a right answer, Buckalo, give me a cap, give me a Bucko, give me a Capalo from Buckalo named Buckalo, cap, but that Bucko cap is not wrong, it's not right, it's a Bucko named Buckalo, like a Buckalo, there's no answer for Buckalo, fit in a buck, how many caps, how many bucks, how many Buckos fit in a buck? If you don't know the answer, you tell me a buck, you tell me a baguette, like how many bucks, must have been a cap, must have been a Bucko, must have been a cap, I told him Buckalo. Told me ain't no buck, he told me it was rigged, I told him he's a Buckalo. Cap, gonna give this dude a baguette. Buckalo, buck, cap out of Buckalo, I told that Buckalo, cap, don't cap, Buckalo. I heard this Buckalo, Titus is retiring, cap, it was crazy, that Buckalo. Here for a year, then he disappeared like a Buckalo. Was got involved in some drama too much, Buckalo. But that Buckalo don't do it this Buckalo. He told me cat, don't Buckalo like a Buckalo. Don't buck, don't capitalize Buckalos. Buckalo, he just disappeared like a bug. Must have been a Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo named Buckalo, like Capalo from Buckalo, cap. He must have been a cap, must have been a Bucko. Every time he capped, I told him, don't. Yes, cap from Buckalo, I told that Buckalo, don't cap from a Buckalo. He just told me don't bug like Capalo. I just a Buckalalo, like don't Capalo from a Buckalo. Told him don't Buckalo from a Capalo. Ain't no Buckalo, ain't no Bucko, ain't no Buckalo from Bucko like Titus. I know you're retiring, but I just want to say one last goodbye for a Buckalo named Titus. Like, I know you were all Buckalo and all, and I know you Buckaloed a lot, but I told a Buckalo don't cap buck, or the Buckalo don't buck, don't Buckalo, from Buck, ain't Buckalo, ain't no Bucko like Buck, ain't no Bucko like Buck, ain't no Bucko like Cap, must have been a Bucko like Cappalo from Buckalo. Bucko needs to come back, I need a Buckalo. We need more Buckalo, can't replace Titus cause he is a Buckalo. Like only Buckalos would be a Buckalo. Must have been a Capalo from a Buckalo. Cap out of Buckalo, must been capping for a Buckalo. Must have been a Bucko, must have been a Capalo. Must have been a Bucko named Buckalo. Like capping for a Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. You must have been a Buckalo, must have been a Capalo. Buckalo from a Buckalo, Capalo. Just Buckalo, Cap must have been a Buck. Wait, what? He's unretiring? Oh, nah, Titus. Oh, nah, that's crazy. Oh, Titus, you're cooked. Part 23, you're cooked. Yo, part 23. Yo, Titus, Buckalo think he can unretire and get away with it? Cap, knockout. Buckalo? Like, who think you are, Buck?
That shit ain't no average.
Cap by the Bucko, cap by the cap, like you cap like a Buckalo, like it must be a cap, like Titus you a Buck, Titus you a cap by the Bucko, like cap like Buck must been a Buckalo, must been a Capalo, like a Buckalo, must been a Buckalo, must be a Capalo, must be a Buck like Buckalo, Buckalo, cap a lot of Capalos, cap by the Buckalo, capping from a Buck, you must been a Buck like cap by the Buck, you cap by the Buck, you cap a lot of Buckalos, from Buckalo, must be a Capalo, by the Buckalo, you must been a Buck, you by the Buckalo, you by the Capalo, like Titus you a Buck, Titus you a cap, like Titus why you cap a lot of Buckalos. Long from Buckalo, you must be capping out a Buck. Capping out a Buckalo, capping out a Capalo, capping out a Buck, where you capping out a Buckalo, cap. Capping about a Buckalo, capping about a Buck, cap from a Buckalo. Titus you a Buck, Titus you a cap, why you capping Bucks, why you capping like a Buck? You must be a Bucko, must be a Capalo, capping Buckalo from a Buckalo, like Buckalo, must be a Capalo, must be a Buckalo, must be a Capalo from a Buckalo, must be a Buckalo from a Buckalo, like Buckalo, like Titus you a Buck, Titus you a cap, why you capping Bucks, why you talking to Ashlyn, why you talking to a Buckalo, name Hannah like Buckalo, cap a lot of Buckalo. Cap out a Buckalo, it must have been a Buckalo, cap out a Buck, you got a curfew, stop doing Buckalo, must be a Buckalo, get like how many caps you got, a lot, just Buckalo, cap a lot of Buckalos, must be a Buckalo, must cap a lot, like cap a lot of Buckalos, must be a Buck, must be Buckalo, must be capping Buckalos, you must have. Titus, you a Buckalo, you must be a Buckalo, you look like a Buckalo, cause you're a Buckalo, from a Buckalo, you must be a Buckalo, from Buckalo, cap a lot of Buckalos, cap like cap out a Buckalo, cap, Buckalo must be Capalo, Buckalo, cap, what a Buckalo, cap, out a Capalo, must be Buckalo, cause you capping Bucks, you must be a Buck, must be a cap, must be a Buckalo, cap like, Titus, you a Buckalo, Titus, you a Capalo, must be capping about a Buckalo, you capping Bucks, cap about a Buckalo, cap from Buckalo, must be a Buck, cause you bucking about a Buckalo, cap. Buckalo, you capping Buckalos, you cap for a Buckalo, you cap, pass you Buckalo. Titus, ain't no Bucko, you capping for a Buck. Why you capping about a Buckalo? Like, cap. Yo, part 24, Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo, just a Buckalo. Must have been a Buckalo. Yeah, Buckalo. Cap about Buckalo, just a Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo, cap about a Buckalo. Must have been a Buck, you capping Bucks, you just a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo, you cap about a Buckalo. You capping Bucks, you capping Buckalos. From a Buckalo, cap a lot of caps, a lot of Buckles, a lot of caps, a lot. You capping about a Buck, just a Buckalo, named Buckalo, like cap a lot, you cap a lot, you Buckalo, you cap a lot, you cap about a Buckalo, you capping from a Buckalo. It must have been a cap, it must have been a Buckle, cap a lot, cap from a Buckle named Buckalo, you just a Buckle, just a Buckle, just a Capalo, you capping Buck, you capping caps, you capping cap from a Buckalo, Capalo, Buckalo, all of them are caps, you capping Bucks, you capping caps, you capping Buckalos, just a Buckalo, capping Buckalos, just a have been a Bucko, cap, about a Buckalo. Must have been a bug, must have been a cat, must have capped a lot, must have buckled a lot like a Buckalo. Capping about a Buckalo, you just a Buckalo. You capping from a buck, you capping buck, you capping Buckalos. You must have been a buck, you must have capped a lot of Buckalos. You capping about a Buckalo. Just a little Buckalo, you must have been a Buckalo. You been about a Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo, you must have been a Buckalo. Capping about a buck, you capping a lot of Buckalos. You just a Buckalo, you capping buck, you capping about a Buckalo. You capping from a buck, you fucking loaded like a Capperlo. You about a Buckalo, you capping about a buck, you capping bucks, you capping bucks. You must have been a Buckalo, you just a buck, it's just a captain, just a Buckalo named Buckalo. You capping about a buck, capping bucks, you capping Buckalos. You capping from a Buckalo, you must have been a Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping like you capping just a Buckalo. You capping from a Buckalo, you just a little Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping bucks, you must have been a Buckalo. Just buck, just cap, just don't cap a lot. You capping bucks. Must have been a Bucko, just don't buckle, just a buckle. Must have been a Buckalo, you capping buck, you capping buck, you capping about a Buckalo, don't cap. Must have been a cat, must have capped a lot, must have buckled a lot, must have been a cap a lot. You capping bucks, you capping buckles, just a Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping caps, you capping about a Buckalo. You named Buckalo, you capping bucks, you capping bucks. Buckalo, you capping a lot of Buckalos, capping Buckalos, capping Buckalos. You capping bucks, you capping caps, you capping from a Buckalo. Yo, part 25. It's a buck, it's a cat, it's a Buckalo. Cat, Buckalo. Must have been a Buckalo. Capping about a Buckalo, must have capped a lot of Buckalo. Capping from a Buckalo. Buckalo, Cappalo, about it, Buckalo. Capping about it, buck, you capping Buckalos. You must have been a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo. You capping for some Buckalos, capping about a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. Must have been a cap, you capping about a Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping Buckalo from Buckalo. You Buckalo, you Buckalo, Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. You capping for some Buckalos. Cap, you capping for some Buckalo. Capping about a Bucko, capping for some more Buckos. You capping bucks, you capping caps, you capping Buckalos from Capalo. You capping about a Bucko, capping about a Buckalo. You capping bucks, must have been a bug, must have capped a bug, must have bugged, must have bucked a bug. You capping bucks, a Bucko from a bug, Bucko about a Capalo. You capping Buckos from Buckalo, must have capped a lot, must have bucked a lot. You cap a bug, must have Capalo, capping Buckalos. You capping Buckos from a Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping bucks, you cap. And about a Buckalo, you capping bucks, capping cash, capping from a Buckalo. Why you cap? Yeah, from a Buckalo, you cap about a Buckalo. You must be a Buckalo. You cap from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. Must have been a buck, you capping for a Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. You must be a Capalo, capping about a Buckalo. Must be a Capalo. Why you capping bucks? Why you capping like a Buckalo? Must have been a bug, must have been a bug, must have been a Bucko, capping about a buck. Must have been a Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. Must have been a Capalo, must have been a bug. Like how many bucks? You capping like a Buckalo. Must be a cap like a Buckalo, Buckalo. Must be a bug. You cap like Buckalo, 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 Buck. Cap out Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo. You capping bucks, you capping caps, you capping about a Buckalo. You know it's cap. How many caps? How many bucks? There's a lot of Buckalo. Must have been a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. Must have been a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. You capping Buckalos. Cap from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. You capping about a buck. You capping bucks. You capping Buckalos. You must have been a buck. You must have been a Buckalo. Capping about a buck. You capping bucks from a low. You know it's about to be Cappin from Buckalo. I like Cappin from Buckalo. Cap from Buckalo. Cappin. Cappin. Must be about Cappin.
Damn, Obi.
Cap from Buckalo. Cap out of Cappin. Must have been a Buckalo. Must have capped a Buckalo. Cap from Buckalo. Cap out of Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. You must be capping Buckalos. Cap out of Buckalo. You capping butts. You capping lows. You capping about a Buckalo. You must have been a Buckalo. Cappalo. About a Buckalo. From a Cappalo. Buckalo. Capping Buckalos. Must have capped. Cap out a Buckalo. You capping about a Buck.
Damn, Obi.
Cappalo. From a Buckalo. You know you capping Buckalos. You know you capping from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. While you capping Buck. Cap from Buckalo. Capping about a Buckalo. Why you capping bucks? You capping caps just like a lot of low. Cap from Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo named Buckalo from Buckalo. Must have been a Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo. Must have been a buck. You capping bucks from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. You know it's cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. You cap about a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. He told you about a Buckalo. He came over here and gave me a Buckalo. Cause you cap about a Buckalo. Like how many bucks? You cap a lot of bucks. Like how many bucks? You cap a lot of bucks. Like that's too much. That's too many Buckalos from Buckalo. Cap a lot of Buckalos. Cap from Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo. You capping from a Buckalo. He capped from a Buckalo. Like how many Cappalos? Capping from a Buckalo. You capped from a Buckalo. Must have capped a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. You know it's cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Why you capping about a Buckalo? Capping about a Buckalo. You know you cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. Why you capping from a Buckalo? You capping like you Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. Capping from Buckalos. You know you cap from a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo. You capping
Damn, Obi.
Yo, Buckonio, the song speak book.
Yo, you know you're fucking Killer K.
Yo, Buckonio, it's part 27. Buckonio, Cappalo, Bucalo. About a Buckalo, you cap it for a Buckalo. Cappalo, Buckonio, Cappalo, cap about a Buckalo, cap it about a Buckalo. Buckonio, Buckalio, Buckalo, bug from a Buckalo, cap about a Buckalo. Capable, must have been a Buckalo. Capable, must have been a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo, you capping about a bug, you about a Cappalo. From a Buckonio, you buck Jalo. From a Bucado, this buck Jalo. About a Cappalo. From Buckalo, Buckonio, like Buckalio, just Buckalio. From a Buckalo, capping Buckalos, capping about a Buckalo, you about a Cappalo. From Buckalo, cap. Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo, you must be cap. You capping from a Buckalo, you got a Cappala, you bout a Buckle like a Cappala. Buckalo, must have been a Buckonio. Cappalo, from a Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo, you capping from a Buckalo, you capping about a Buck. About a Buckalo, about a Cappalo, must be Buckonio. Buckonio, Buckalio, Buckalo, capping about a Buck, you capping from a Buckalo. Cap Buckalio, Cap Buckalo, Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. Buckonio, Buckalo, just a Buckalo from Buckonio, you just a Buck, just a Cappalo from Buck, ain't no butt, must have been a Buck. Buckonio, must have been a Buckalio, must have kept a Buckle. Buckonio, must have kept a Buck, capping bucks, capping by the Buckalo, you capping like a Buck. must have bucked y'all little Buckalio, must have bucked y'all little cab. From a Buckalo, you cab, about a Buckalo. Buckalo part 28. Got Buckalos. Got from Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo, you must have been a Johnno. Cat Buckalos, must have been a Buckalo. Cat Johnno, must have kept a Buckalo. Buckalo went emo over Carly, must have kept a low. Johnno like Buckalo, must have kept about a Buckalo. Capping about it, Capalo, you capping Buckalos. Just Johnno like Cat Buckalo. Capping about it, Capalo, you cat Buckalo. Cat Johnno, Cat Buckalo. Capping about it, Buckalo. Johnny's Buckalo, cause you buck Johnno like Buckalo. You cat Buckalo, cause you capping about a Buckalo. You cap for a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo. Johnny is a Buckle, got cheated on for time by a Buckle named Taylor. Must have capped it like a buck, like you cap about a buck, capping about a Buckalo. Capping about a Buckalo, you capping for a Buckalo. Buckalo, Buckalo, Johnno, must have capped a Buckalo. You capping, but you capping cap. Buckalo, Buckonio, you capping caps, capping Buckles, capping Capitals from Buckalo. You cap from a Buckle, capping about it, Capitol. You capping Johnno, Buckalo, Capitol, Buckalo, Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. You capping about a buck, you got Buckle by a Buckalo. You capping about it, Capitol. You capping from a Buck, Johnno, just Buckalo. Buckle went emo over Carly, must have bucked it like a Jalo. Johnno like Buckonio, just a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. You capping from a Buckle, capping Buckles from a Buckalo. Capping from a Buckalo, capping about a Buckalo. Cap from a Buckle, capped a lot of Buckalos. Buckle capped a Buckalo. Johnny is a Buckalo. Bucko is a Buckalo, Buckalo, Capalo, by the Bucko. Yo, part 29. Give it a bucks, Bucko bucks. For Bucko bucks, would you cap a buck from a Buckle named Bucko buck? Cap it a buck. Buckle bucks. Buckle cap a lot of bugs, capping Buckalos. Buckle bucks a lot of Buckalo. You cap it about a Buckalo. Bucks about a Buckle, bucks a Buckalo from a Buckalo. Capping Buckalo from Buckalio like Buckle bucks bucked about a Buckalo. You cap Capalo from Buckalo. Capping like a Buckle bucks from a Buckalo. Capping Buckalo, capping buck. Bout a cap, bout a Buckle, capping Buckle bucks. You capping bucks, you capping Buckle bucks from Buckle bucks a lot. You capping Buckle bucks a lot. You capping from a Buckle, capping Buckle bucks a lot. You buck bout a Buckalo. You capping bucks about a Buckalo. You capping Buckle bucks a lot. You capping bout a Buckle bout a cap a lot. You capping bout a Buck a lot. He capped about a Buck a lot. Capping Buckle bucks. Bugs, cap, must have Buckalo, a lot of cap. Capping Buckalo, you capping bug. Capping bugs, must have been a Buckalo. Capping Buckalo, must have been a Buckalo. Cap, Buckalo, cap a lot of Buckalos. Must have been a Capalo, cause you capping about a Buckalo. Capping Buckalos, about a Capalo. You must have bucks a lot. You buckle a lot. Capping Buckles, about a Buckle a lot. Caps, about a Buckalo. Buckle bucks a lot. You buckle about a Capalo. You must be capping bucks a lot. You buckle bucks a lot. About a Buckle lot. Capping bucks, must have bucks a lot. From Buckalo, capping buck. Cap, Buckalo. Buck from a Buckalo. You capping Buckle bucks. Buckalo bucks, about a Buckalo like Buckle bucks a lot. Capping bucks a lot, you must be Buckle bucks a lot. Capping about a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckle bucks, about a Buckalo, you capping Buckle bucks a lot. Capping Buckalo, you Buckle bucks a lot. Cap, cap about it, Buckalo, Cappin Buckalos, Cappin Buckalos, you Cappin Bucks. Cappin Bucks, Cappin Buckalos, Cappin Buckalos, Cappin Bucks about it, about it, Buckalo, you Cappin about it, Bucko. Cappin Bucks, you Cappin Buckalos. Cappin about it, Buckalo, Cappin Bucks, Buck, must have been a Buckle Bucks a lot. See you on part 30, Buck. Part 30, Buckalo. Now you Cappin about a Bucko, Cappin Bucks, Cappin Crab. Just a Buckalo, Cappin Bucks, low, go, Crab. Yo, Buckalo, cap about a body cat light. Buckalo, cap out buck, cap out buck. Cap a Buckalo, cap, no it's Buckalo, you know it's cap about a Bucko, cap from a Buckalo, cap about a buck. No it's Buckalo, cap buck. Why you capping about a buck? Why you capping about a Buckalo, Buckalo from Buckalo? Cap it about a buck. Cap it about a buck, about it, cap it low like buck. About it, cap it like a Buckalo, you capping. About a buck, low capping bucks, capping Buckalos, you capping from a Buckalo, you capping about a buck, you about to cap it low, Buckalo. Buckalo, you know what's up, Buckalo, you cappalo, you bucking about a Buckalo, you capping about a buck, you capping bucks, you capping Buckos, capping Buckalos from a Buckalo, like Buckalo capping bucks, Buckalo capping bucks, Buckalo capping bucks, you capping Buckalos, you capping Buckalos, you cap from a Buckalo, capping about it, Buckalo, capping about it, Buckalo, you capping for a buck, you capping bucks, you just a Buckalo, but you know it's cap, you know it's Buckle, know it's about it, Buckalo, you about it, Cappalo, from Buckalo, named Buckalio, Cappalo, you capping bucks, you capping cat. From a Buckalo, you cap, why you capping like a buck, capping bucks, capping Buckalos, you know it's cap, about a Buckle, cap, about a Buckalo, you capping bucks, you capping Buckalos, from Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo, you capping about a buck, you capping bucks, you capping Alos, from a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo, you cap, from a Buckle, cap, from a Buckalo, you capping buck, capping from a Buckalo, you capping Buckles, from a buck, capping Buckalos, capping Cappalos, you capping bucks. Buzz from a Buckle like a Buckalo, Cappalo, Buckalo, cap Buckalo like cap from Buckalo, cap from a Buckalo, you cap a Buckalo, you cap about a buck, cap Buckalos, cap a buck, Cappalo from a buck. Cappalo, from a Buckalo, like Cappalo, from a Buckalo, no it's Buckalo, no you capping about it, Buckalo capping bucks, Buckalo capping bucks, Buckalo capping bucks, you capping Buckalos, you capping Buckalos, you cap from a Buckalo, capping about it, cap buck, must have been a Bucko, capping bucks, just a Buckalo, cap buck, you know it's Buckalo, you know it's about it, Cappalo from Buckalo, you capping bucks, you capping cap from a Buckalo, you capping body, Cappalo, you capping from a Buckalo, you capping body, cap, you capping cap, about a Buckalo, capping from a Buckalo, capping buck, must have been a Buckalo, cap from a Cappalo, capping about Buckalo, you bout it, buck, you bout it, cap it like a Buckalo, cap it about it, Buckle, cap it about a Buckano, you must have been a Buckalo, the way you capping Buckalos, cap about a Buckle, cap about a Buckalo, you capping bucks, you capping Buckalos, from Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo, you capping about a buck, you capping bucks, you capping Alos, from a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo, you cap from a Buckle, cap from a Buckalo, you capping buck, capping from a Buckalo, you capping Buckles, from a buck, capping Buckalos, capping Cappalos, you capping buzz, from a Buckle like a Buckalo, Buckaloo, Buckaloo. Go, go, cap, no it's cap, no you bout it, Buckaloo. You know you capping bout it, but you bout it, cap it low like Buckaloo. From a Buckaloo, cap. From a Buckaloo, you capping boys, capping boys, capping boys, you capping buckles, bout it, bout it, Buckaloo, you capping bout it, Buckaloo, cap. 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 Yo, part 31, Buck. Cap. Buck. Buckaloo told me a cap. I told him Buckaloo cause I ain't Buckaloo. Ain't gonna lie, you a Buckaloo. Cap out that buck. Ain't no buck. I ain't no buck. What's the buck? Nah, Buckaloo, Buckaloo, capital about Buckaloo. Buckaloo, I ain't no buck. Ain't gonna lie, I ain't no buck. But Buckaloo, but a Buckaloo like cap. Buckaloo, Buckaloo, cap. All the Buckaloos don't know nothing about buck. Not gonna lie, they must have been a bug. Ain't no bug, ain't no bug. Ain't no nothing about a Bucko, capping bout buck. Capping bout a Buckaloo, he capping bout a buck, he capping bucks, he ain't no Buckaloo. He know I'm Bucko, no I'm capping from a Buckaloo. You know I'm capital, capital. Yeah, I'm a capital, capital, must a Buckaloo. You capping bucks, you capping caps from a Buckaloo. You Bucko, ain't no buck, ain't no cap, ain't no Bucko, must a capital. I'm no Buckaloo, but I know about a Buckaloo. Cap, 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 I'm a capital. I ain't capping about a Bucko. When I say I Buckaloo, you cap, cap, cap. I say cat without buckles, thought I say a Buckaloo. Cat, cat, buckle that I say a Buckaloo. I ain't no Buckaloo, I'm just a capital from Buckaloo. You capping Buckaloo, some Buckaloo. You capping by the buck, you capping cat from Buckaloo. Cap by the buck, Buckaloo, 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 cap, 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 capital, 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 buck. Must a buck from a buck, cat, buck, bucko, buck, a lot of cap, capital, thought he was a Buckaloo, must have been a capital, a lot of Buckaloos, but I thought he was a Buckaloo, might have been a capital, might have been a capital, might have been a buck from Buckalo. You capping by the buck, you capping by the cap from a Buckaloo, Buckaloo, Buckaloo low, capping by the buck, capital, by the Buckalo, must say cap, ain't no Bucko, ain't no capital, you capping by the Buckaloo, cap by the buck, capital, must have been a capital, cap from Buckaloo, cap, Buckaloo, cap, must be capital, like a Buckaloo, cap, must a capital, like a Buckaloo, cap, Buckaloo, cap about a Buckaloo, capping by Buckaloo, capping Buckaloo. He thought I was Buckaloo, but I ain't no Buckaloo. Ain't no capital, ain't no buck, ain't no Buckaloo, get Buckaloo, you buck by the buck, cap by the Buckaloo, capping by the Buckaloo, cap, Buckaloo, buck. Buckaloo, buck. Part 32. Buckaloo. Buckaloo, Buckaloo. Kappa Bucko. Kappa, about a Buckaloo, you capping. Why you capping about Bucko? About a Buckaloo, cap. Why you capping about a Bucko? Capping Buckaloo, capping about a Buckaloo, capping Buck. What's the Bucko? What's the Buckaloo? Why you capping? Bugs, capping bugs, you must have been a Buckaloo. Why you capping by the buckies? You capping Buckaloo from Buckaloo, capping Buckaloos, you capping bugs, from a Buckaloo. Why you capping bugs? Buck, why you capping by the buck? You capping for a cap, why you cap about a Bucko? Must've been a Bucko, must've been a Buckalo. You capping about a buck, you know you Buckalo, Buckalo. Cap from a Buckalo, you know that buck was Buckalo. You capping from a buck, you must've been a Buckalo. You capping bucks, capping Buckalos from Buckalo. You capping for them bucks, you capping Buckos from a Buckalo. Cap, must've been a buck, you capping bucks, you capping about a Buckalo. Why you capping? Cap from Buckalo, cap about a buck, capping about a Buckalo. You capping bucks, must've been a buck, must've been a Cappalo, capping about Buckalos, capping about a cap about Buckalo, must've been a Buckalo. You capping about a buck, you capping for a Buckalo. I capping bucks, must've been a Buckalo, capping bucks, must've been a Buckalo, capping bucks, from a Buckalo. Capping Buckalos, you must've been a Buckalo. Cap about a Buckalo, capping from a Buckalo. You capping bucks, must've been a Buckalo. You capping bucks, cap, must've been a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo, why you capping about a Buckalo? You capping bucks, you capping Cappalo. Cap, must've been a buck, must've been a Buckalo, must've capped a lot of low. You capping bucks, you capping Buckos from a Buckalo. You capping about a Buckalo. Why you capping bucks, you capping cap from a Buckalo? Why you capping bucks, capping Buckalos? Capping from a buck, no you Buckalo. You capping about a buck. Capping about a Buckalo, you capping about a Buckalo. Why you capping from a buck, capping Buckalos, capping about a buck, you capping bucks, capping Buckalos, you capping about a buck, cap, Buckalo, part 33, cover that. Cap about a Buckalo, you capping bucks, capping Buckalos, must've Buckalo, cap, must've Buckalo, cap about a Bucko, cap from a Bucko, Cappareza, Cappalos as a cap about a buck, cap a buck. Cap a lot of Buckalos, must be aloe, callow like a buck, Buckalo, cap Buckino, must a buck, hello, you capping bucks, capping Buckle, capping bucks, capping Buckalo, capping by Buckalo, you capping Cappalo from Buckano, you Buckano like Buckalo, capping Buckalo, capping Cap about a Buckalo, capping from a Buckalo. You must be capping about a Cappalo like Buckalo. You Buckano like Buckano like Buckalo. You just a Buckalo, just a Johnno, Buckalo, about a Cappalo from a Buckalo. You capping Bucko, must be capping buck, cap, must have been a Bucko, cap, must have been a Buckalo, cap, must have been a Buckalo, cap, Buckalo, cap, must have Buckalo like, cap, Buckalo, cap a buck, Buckalo thought that was a butt, like cap a buck, Buckalo, Cappabody, Buckalo, you capping Buckalo, must have capped a low, Buckalo, must have been a buck, cap, bout Bucko, cap, bout Buck, cap, bout Bucko, cap a Buckalo, capping Buckano, must have Buckani, cap a low, Buckalo, cap a little Buckalo, you must have Buffalo, like a Buckalo, cap, bout Buck, cap about a Buck, cap about a Bucko, cap low, cap a Buck, 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 cap about a Buckalo, you capping about cap, must have been a Buckalo, cap. Yo, part 34, Buckalo. Buckalo. This is about to be the finale of our second album, Buckalo. Yeah. Bucko. Cappin like about a buck Johnno. Buckonio, Cappin, Buckalo, just Buckalos. You Cappin, Cappin, Buckalo. Cappin, Buckalo. Bucko, Bucko, must have been a Buckalo. Cappin, about a Bucko, cause you Cappin, bro, you Cappin, Cappin, Buckos, Cappin, about a Buckalo. You Cappin, bro, must have been a Bucko. Must have been a bug, you Cappin, right a bird like must have been a cow, Cappin, about a Bucko, must have been a Bucko, Cappin, about a Bucko, Cappin, about a bug, Cappin, about a bug, Cappin, about a bug, Cappin, a lot of bugs, Bucko, Cappin, about a bug, you Cappin, Bucko, must have been a Cappin, must have been a Bucko, Cappin, Bucko, lows, about a Bucko, Cappin, Buckonio, you Cappin, Bucalo, Cappin, Bucalo, must have been a Bucalo, 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 about a about a Bucko, told that Buckalo, don't Buckalo, Cappin, Buckalo, Cappin, Buck, Bucko, Buckalo, Cappin, Bucks, I'm a buck, from a Buckonio, Bucalo, man, buck, must have been a Buckonio, Cappin, Bucalo, Cappin, brought a Buckalo, must have been a buck, Cappin, brought a Bucko, must have been a Bucalo from the Buckalio, Buzz, Cappin, brought a Bucko, Cappin, from Cappin, Buzz, Cappin, Buckalos, Cappin, from a Buckalo, Cappin, brought a Buck, Cappin, from a Buckalo, Cappin, Buckalo, just Buckalo, Johnno, just the Kalo, Buck. Yo, the ending of the second album, the song a little bit better. The first album, maybe a lot better. But you already know, that third album dropping in a couple weeks, this one's finna be way better. If y'all thought the second one was way better than the first album, this third album is finna be peak. Like the first song in the third album is crazy. Like, I started dissing Cardi. I was not cap rapping. Like, I made 50K every day, Buckalo. But like, but that's too much in the future, Buck. I'll see you there, Bucks.